Hey goalies, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, I previously posted some videos where I try to work on fixing my butterfly stance. So keeping my hips up when I drop down and also trying not to hop into a butterfly. After trying to work on these techniques and just watching other properly trained goalies go into their butterfly, I realized that I have quite a high shot stance. Now, when you look at any other goalie, especially in the NHL, you can see when they're ready for a shot, their head is like under the crossbar. And these guys are over 6 feet tall. I'm 5'10", and when I try to get my head even near the crossbar, my quads are just on fire and I cannot hold that stance longer than a couple seconds. So in the past month, I've really focused on trying to get into a deeper, lower stance. And I'm happy to say after a few weeks of just trying this out, I'm able to consistently do this during games and practices without much fatigue in my legs. So what I wanted to do in this video is share with you what I did to get more comfortable in a lower stance. And if this is something that you're looking to work on as well, hopefully this will give you a few tips and tricks to get into that lower stance. And just so you're aware, I'm just a regular beer league guy. I'm not professionally trained at all. These are just things that work for me. It's probably not the right technique to actually learn how to do this, but it worked for me in a few weeks. So with that said, let's put some pads on and I'll show you guys what I did. Alright, so if you want to follow along and practice this, you definitely don't need your gear on. You can definitely just do this like in front of the TV or wherever you have some privacy so your family doesn't think you're doing something super weird. Basically, the idea behind this is just getting out of that comfort zone. So the problem that I was having was that I knew that I can play in a lower, deeper stance, but it just wasn't comfortable for my body. And again, this is going to really depend on your body type. So I have very tight hips and very minimal internal rotation. So this is really going to kind of make things a little bit more difficult. What I'm going to show you is basically how I got my body to get used to a different position that we used to be uncomfortable. So to get in this lower stance is actually not too hard to do. First thing that you need to do is just get into your usual stance, so what you're comfortable with. Okay, so this is what I used to be comfortable doing. And you just want to get lower into your stance. And when I mean lower, you don't want to kind of punch over like that. So you don't want to do something like this. Instead, what we're going to do is get into this comfortable position. And then I'm going to kind of feel like I'm almost going to drop into my butterfly. So I'm going to push my skates out like that. So drops about an inch or so. This is as much as my internal rotation will allow my legs to do. So once I'm good with this, I'm going to hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds and then pop back out of that. So doing that hold, because it's a new and uncomfortable position, it's going to hurt a little bit, right? Quads are going to burn, but over time, the stamina on your leg is going to get stronger. You're going to be able to do this during your ice time. And so I'll just do one of these without my pads on so you can kind of see what my legs are actually doing. So I'll get into the stance that I'm normally comfortable with, and I'm just pushing out and kind of internally rotating my legs a little bit. So my usual stance is like this, and just kind of push out a little bit more. And then I'm kind of getting nice and low. And this is as low as I can get. So I'm going to try to keep working on this so I can get a really aggressive stance. So I'm pretty happy to say that I can actually do this lower stance now. In terms of how long it actually took for my body to get used to doing this, it took about 2 practice sessions like what I'm doing now. About 20 to 30 minutes of just kind of like holding that position and of course resting in between each set, and about 2 or 3 ice times of mindfully getting into that lower position. Now, just so you're aware, the first time I tried doing this during the first ice time, my legs were just on fire because again, my body didn't have the stamina to do this. And the way that I was thinking about this is if I went to that skate and my legs were not tired at all, then that means I was not getting into that lower stance enough time to make it worthwhile. Again, the overall message with this video is pushing my body into its uncomfortable zones. That way we're gonna kind of build a new comfort zone. Depending on your body, depending on your injuries and hips, whatever it may be, do this stuff with caution. If you're having some troubles kind of getting a little bit deeper, it's definitely time to get onto a mobility program. That way you can kind of build the flexibility and strength to get into that lower stance. Anyways, I thought this would be cool to share with you. This is something that worked for me. I'm absolutely thrilled when I saw the new clips of me playing me in that lower stance. I was actually able to correct something that I've been meaning to fix for years now and actually able to see the results from that. So it's super cool. I thought I'd share with you guys. I hope this video helps you out. Thank you so much for watching. and I'll see you in the next one.